because it was an art read and I won a giveaway, so I got a physical copy of it. And I'm part of this author's creative team, so that's like a producer, and y'all should like plan up something to like create a movie or a series. No, I would say this is more like a movie because I feel like it's a book. Yeah, so I read it within like 3 to 4 days. Besties, welcome to my YouTube channel, Dajah Nicole. So in today's video, I will be doing a wrap-up video. So this is going to be an April to June reading wrap-up. Yeah, April to June. And the reason why I'm doing it from April to June is because I was in a little reading slump beginning of this year, and I just fell off from reading, and I got back into it like late March, early April. So these are all the books that I have read in those 3 months. So just to put that out there, I will not be doing monthly TBRs and wrap-ups anymore. Not every single month. I will do one when I feel like doing one, then every month. And the reason why I decided to do that is because I want to read for fun again, and I feel like when I do a TBR video, I don't want to read. I feel like I'm defeated when I don't read as much of the books I plan to read in that month. So just let you know, after this video, don't expect to have a July TBR or a wrap-up. I will probably do a wrap-up, next one probably in September, but don't expect to have like a July TBR, July wrap-up, and August TBR and August wrap-up, and so on, just because I feel like when I do TBR videos, I feel like I have to like read all those books in that month, and usually months do have like 30 to 31 days, but I feel like I can't enjoy a book because I'm rushing when reading the book. Like, yes, some people are fast readers, but I'm a slow reader. That's just how I am, and it's just how I want to start doing book videos. I still want to do book content, which I am. I want to do reading vlogs and all of that, and I'm planning to post more of my book talk and all of that jazz. But just letting y'all know, this is like the last video until maybe September or October, where I will probably do a wrap-up video or a TBR video. I'm not doing a TBR video until probably the fall time, and I probably won't do a wrap-up video probably the fall time. But yes, just to put that out there. But before we start today's video, besties, if you're new to my channel, hi, my name is Dajah Nicole. On my channel, I do book style, like bookish type videos, lifestyle, and all that. Cozy vibes is on my channel because I'm a girl who likes pastel, pink, cozy things, and reading. Reading is like a thing of mine. I like writing. I'm going to do a writing vlog when I come back, just because I was supposed to do one, but I haven't been writing my novel. But we're going to do that while I'm out in North Carolina. So when I come back from North Carolina, I'll be doing a writing vlog. But before I start today's video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, besties. Also, follow all my social medias. My social medias will be here on the screen, right somewhere in this area, or the top corners, or in the description box down below with the links. And let's just get into today's video, besties. So yeah. Okay, besties, so I don't know if you can see beside me, and I just like knocked the book. I have books beside me, and how I'm gonna do this video is I'm not going to do it in order on when I read these books, because I just feel like, why should I? But I will go on my Goodreads and tell y'all when I read the book and what I rated the book. So yeah, so that's how we're gonna do this video. I'm just gonna pick a book from the pile, tell y'all what I rated and what dates I read it through and all of that. And if you have read any of these books before I show any of these books, If you have read any of these books, besties, please let me know down in the comments down below. I like reading comments, so please do that. Or you can also comment any book recommendations. I would love to get into new genres or just new authors, because I love romance, I like romantasy, I like fantasy. I want to get back into thrillers. So if you have an author that you want me to check out, or a book to check out, let me know down in the comments. I also like classical literature, because I read a classical literature that's in this file and I actually really loved it, so I can't wait to get my next classical literature book soon. But that's how I'm going to do this video, is I'm going to tell you the dates that I read it and my rating. So yeah, but let's just get into all the books that I read from April to June. So yeah. The first book that I picked up is King of Envy. This is the 5th book from the King of Sin series, so Kings of Sin series by Anna Huang. I love Anna Huang. If someone can ask me who's my favorite author, I used to like Sophie Lark, but Anna Huang took that place, and I want to get the 6th book. I think that is actually the last book in this series, so maybe next time I go book shopping, I will get the last book because I want that. And then I want to read her soccer romance. I forgot what's the series name, but I know one of the books is called The Defender, so I want to read that, and I want to like really read that. So next time I go to Books A Million, I will get that. I just have to find it, because the Books A Million that is here where I live recently like remodeled the whole store inside, so I got lost. But I do want to get the 6th book in this series, and I rated this book a 4-star rating. I really love this book. It hooked me up. I was hooked from the beginning, and I really love this series. I don't think I rated any of these books so far. Like I said, there's a 6th book, so I haven't read that, but so far in this series I haven't rated anything 3 stars or below. And like I said, Anna Huang is one of my favorite authors. So I read this book from June 20th to June 25th. So it took me about 6 days to finish this book. But this is one of the books that I read from these past 3 months. Yeah. So, because I'm looking for it as well. So if you see me looking down, just know I'm looking for the book, so I can tell you when I read it and the rating. So yeah. So the next book that I have read from these past 3 months is Heartless Hunter. So I got this book back in 2024, back in February 2024, and I'm surprised that it took me a while to read this book, because I have seen this book all over BookTok, but mostly BookTube, and I have heard good things about this book. So I read this book from May 29th to June 5th. So I'm just gonna let you know, like mid to early May is when I start really picking up a lot of more books. I would just read, listening to music in the background, so like I was really in a reading kick around that time. But that's when I read it. So again, that was from May 29th to June 5th. And I rated this book a 5-star. So this is by Kristen C. I do not want to butcher her last name, so I'm going to say C. But I really love this book. It's a fantasy book, and it's an enemies to lovers book. It got me hooked. I felt like I was watching something, like, I don't know, something on TV when I was reading this. Like, I could picture the scenes while reading this book, and it was so hard to put down this book. I hated that I had to end this book, but I really love this book. So yeah. So besties, the next book that I read from these last 3 month was The Bombshell, and this is by Dajah Nicole. So I got this off of Book of the Month last year of May, and I rated this book a 3-star rating, and I read it from June 17th to June 19th, and I think I wanted to rate this book a 4-star rating, but I just didn't want to, just because I didn't like how it ended, and there was some parts that I just didn't like in the book, so that's why it got the rating that it does. I feel like a 3-star rating is still a good rating if you are reading a book, and like I said, it was like a 3.7, 3.8 star rating than just a 3.0 rating if I had to do it on the point system of rating something. But I read this again from June 17th to June 19th. Do I recommend this book? I think you might like it. It's something different from what I read, so it's a contemporary type book. That's like the genre, but I enjoyed it. Like I said, there was parts that I didn't like, and the reason why I rate the book that I rated, but I wouldn't say, oh, I don't recommend this book. I kind of do recommend this book, so yeah. Now, the next book was this little small thing. This is Persuasion by Jane Austen. I really love this book. I rated this book a 5-star rating, and I read this book within a day. So I read this book from June 19th and I finished it the next day. So it can take you about a day and a half to finish that book, because it was like 200 something pages. It was different, and I think that's why I really loved it. It was different, but I almost cried reading this book. And I told my boyfriend, I said, if I like this book, I'm getting more classical literature. I hate that my brother like bended the book, because I don't like that. But I did rate this a 5-star rating. And if you haven't read any classical literature books, I recommend this to probably be your first classical literature, because some of the classical literature books that I've seen in bookstores or from other people's YouTube videos or even TikToks are very thick. So if you are like iffy about reading a classical literature book, I really recommend Persuasion. It's about 200 something pages, and I liked it. So yeah. The next book that I read from the last 3 months is Mate by Ali Hazelwood. I know I read Bride back in 2024, and I really love Bride, and I actually love Mate. So I rated this book a 4-star rating, and I read this book from June 5th to June 13th. I really love this book. It is different. It's about a girl who's a hybrid, and you know, she falls in love, but I really like it. It gives a little bit of like a Twilight vibe, and same thing with Bride. I felt like it gave a little Twilight vibe when I was reading it, because I watched like Twilight growing up. I just never read the books, and I really want to read the books from Twilight, but I really love this book. I heard mixed feelings about this book, and that's why I was kind of iffy if I wanted to rate this book a 4 or 5 star. Like I said, I rated it a 4-star because, like I said, I heard bad things about it. Some bad things. I won't say all things were bad things, but I heard some bad things. But just so you know, if you like watching book reviews, do not don't get a book because someone else said it was good. Get a book because it was on your radar and you really want to read it. Or don't get a book because someone said it was bad. If you want to read that book and that book is on your radar, read it because you want to read. Not because of someone else's opinions. Just because someone says it's bad, you don't want to read the book. What if you like it? Everyone's taste in reading is different. Everyone feels different ways when they're reading a book. So don't let someone's opinions that's very huge because I feel like, especially with social media, a lot of people do book reviews like this either on YouTube, podcasts. There's bookish podcasts, TikTok, Instagram. A lot of people do book reviews. So if you want to, then do it, but it's only if you want to. So yeah. So the next book that I read in these last 3 months is because I actually had to finish this book in the last 3 months. This is actually the physical copy, but I read it on my Kindle because it was an art read and I won a giveaway, so I got a physical copy of it. And I'm part of this author's creative team, so that's like I'm part of like the beta read, not beta readers, art readers and stuff, but this is Forbidden Fruits. So I read this book on my Kindle, and I read this book from May 21st to May 28th. So yeah, so this is by Saffron Brooks. I really love this book, and I read this book a 4-star rating. It is really good. She published this book, I think, the last day of May. So, and I want to actually reread it now that I got the physical copy. Like I said, I read an art read, but I got a physical copy because I won a book giveaway that she was doing, and I got like 5 books. But I can't wait to reread it because I really love this book. The spice scenes were spicy and it got me on my toes. Like, I had to reread a bunch of scenes in this book. That was my alarm to take my medicine, so I gotta eat before I do that. But I had to reread some of the scenes to just picture it. So I really love this book. So yeah. Okay, so the next book that I read in these last 3 months is A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sergio Mas. So I know this author has been getting a lot of controversy, so I don't know if I ever want to get her books because of that, because I have a book set of this series, of the Avatar series, but like her other series, that because I really want to, and her books have been on my radar, but it's like, oh, if you read those then you're problematic, this and that. But I feel like sometimes you have to separate the art, which is like the book, from the artist, so the author, because it can be different, but that's not the point. I read this book from June 15th to June 17th. I really love this book. It's not that thick. There's another book that's like smaller than this, and then there's like 2 other books. I think it's like a 4-book series that is thick, like it's thick. Like, I'm taking one of them when I'm going to North Carolina because that's a 12-hour drive, and I'm staying there with my boyfriend for like a week, so I'm bringing like some books with me. And I told him, I was like, I'm gonna bring some books. Like, I just got off the phone before recording this video, and I was like, I'm gonna bring some books, so just so you know. But I rated this book a 5-star rating, and I remember finishing this book, and a little story time, and it might be gross, but we are going to do it. So actually, not when I finish this book, when I start this book. So I finished this book and I started this book on the same day. No, I finished this book and then started this book. So I started this book June 15th to the 17th. So I think I started this book and then here. But I had both of these books in my hand when this day happened. And you might be like, what are you talking about?
So my boyfriend likes to play One Piece. So if you know One Piece, the anime, they have a trading card game, right? And if you see my desk tour, I literally show y'all like my favorite like cards from that game because I like Chopper, so I have a bunch of Chopper cards. But he likes to play One Piece, so he plays usually at the place that we go at this place on Saturday. But he didn't have work because he's in the military, and he had a 4-day weekend. So he went to go play on Monday. And sometimes I like to go with him to just watch him play because I'm a supportive girlfriend, right? I love that my boyfriend has a hobby. I want him to get into reading, but that's up to him. And the reason why I say I want him to get into reading because he has books. He has like a whole manga set of Hunter x Hunter. And I told him like once he's done reading that, let me read hobby, and that's playing One Piece. So, I don't know if you know, but a lot of these people who play card games like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, and all that, they don't know what personal hygiene is. And what my mom had told me is like, yeah, maybe that's not their priority. Maybe that's not important. Maybe them spending $200 to $300 on a newest One Piece pack is very important than buying deodorant, buying soap, and using soap, and bathing well. You know, and shut up, because I feel like half of these people, every time we go to this one certain spot, they don't care. There's like one dude, his clothes are too small. Like, what I mean too small, his belly's hanging out. He can barely pull up his pants, so you see his butt crack. Like, and you spend $200 on a new pack of cards. Like, One Piece cards, like a whole deck of One Piece cards is about $200. So, and how I know, because my boyfriend be telling me the prices. And I'm like, if you want to do it, you know, I want to support my man with his hobbies. So, one day, it was a Monday, and I was reading, and there's this one dude, so when there's like an odd number out, there's one person who just basically walk around and just watch the other players play, and they basically get a free win because no one is playing against them. So they get like a small deck of cards because they won, basically. And this dude is on a larger side. When I mean larger side, I mean larger side. Why did this dude funky, very funky, walking around, and I have my book, so I'm reading my book like this, and I can see from my preferred, like, from my side of my eye, I forgot how you say it, but I will put the name of it like that, but from the side of my eye, him digging up his book, and I'm like,
Why is this?
blankety blank, and digging up his ass, and he did this about 10 or 12 freaking times, and every time he did it, I had to react, and I had my book up to like this close, right? This close to how I had my book. And freaking reacting. Because I'm not gonna, like, I'm not gonna try to hold, like, show my face and react so you can see. So when I see it, I react. And I'm not, like, trying to look my perfect. It's just there. The dude is big, and he's just there.
They have the audacity to freaking sniff his freaking fingers. And I'm just like, why? Why?
Why would you nasty ass do that? So I go back to support my boyfriend, but that shit disgusts me, and it still haunts me to this day, because that was about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it still haunts me to this day. So, yeah.
But when you really love someone, you would support them with their hobbies, and I'm grateful that my boyfriend knows how to dress and he knows what personal hygiene is, because I told him if he did it, I would not be with him because that shit is really nasty. But yes, it's a good thing my boyfriend's not that type of nerd who probably lives like you know that stereotype, if he's a nerd, he lives in his mother's basement, and I feel like some of these people do live in their mother's basement. But no, I support my boyfriend and his hobbies, and he support me with my hobbies. But yeah, I just want to put that there. But back to the book rating. Yeah, I rated this a 5-star rating. But yeah, but I just want to put that little story time because baby, that was gross. Okay, so we got like one more book on this side and we have to go on this side. So the next book that I read in these last 3 months, and the reason why I'm saying last 3 months for April, May, and June, even though we're still in June, but today's the last day of June, is because it is the last 3 months, and when I post this, it would be in July. So yeah, I don't know if I'll post this video on my birthday, or because my birthday is on a Monday and I'm planning to post a video on my birthday, or my room tour, which I'm recording right after this video, or my nighttime routine, which I'm recording later today. So yeah, and then tomorrow I'm recording a day in my life where I basically do cleaning and packing and all that, and then Wednesday, no, tomorrow's Wednesday, so Thursday morning I'm going to not pack, but record a morning routine where that's the day I'm leaving, but I'm leaving around 7 to 8 a.m. and most likely will be 8 a.m. because I know my boyfriend. So yeah. But the next book that I read was 11 Other Words. I read this from June 13th to June 15th, and I really love this book. So this is from Christina Lauren, and I want to get more books. I have like another book from her, and then I just got 2 more books recently that my boyfriend got from this like small bookstore that we have here. Like, we went to this buffet that we want to go since it opened, but once anything opens here in where I live, everything is like that is packed full. Not weeks, not for a month or 2 months, but about 3 months, and the hype goes down. So we went to that, and then we went to the bookstore. But I really love this book. I got emotional when I read this book because I really did. It had those moments where you can cry. And like I said, I read this book from June 13th to the 15th. I rated it 5 stars. I feel like Netflix or some type of streaming platform besides Disney Plus should make a movie out of this book, because everything is being written by someone, especially Netflix. Like, Netflix have a bunch of movies that is written by books, like from books. Like, same thing with Amazon Prime. So either Netflix or Amazon Prime, y'all should get a producer and y'all should like plan up something to like create a movie or a series. No, I would say this is more like a movie, because I feel like if it's a book series, that's more of a TV series. But a movie based on this book, because I feel like a lot of people would want to actually see this type of book on big screens. And I really love this book, and like I said, I did cry because it had those moments where you would shed a tear. So yeah. Okay, besties, so we're almost done. We got like 5 books left, and I had to start my camera again because it stopped. It hit that 30-minute mark. So let's just get to the rest of the books that I read. So these books that I'm about to show y'all are from like April and May. I think one is from March, but I finished it in April, so I included it in this like stack of books that I read. But the next book that I read is The Ballad of Never After by Stephanie Garber, and I rated this book a 4-star rating, and I read this book from April 19th to April 22nd. So April 19th to 22nd of April. That sounds so much better. I don't know what I was about to say, but yeah. So I read it within like 3 to 4 days. And like I said, I rated this book a 4-star rating. And I actually finished the last book in the series too. So I will get to that when I get to it. But if you want to know how I like this series, I read all these books like 4 to 5 stars, which is good to me. And I really, really, really love this series. So yeah, but I love this series. I couldn't put down this book. And what I like about this book in this series, like, I like when fantasy books or romantic books have maps in them. I don't know, I just do. And it just, I really love that. And it catches your eyes before you read it, and you know what type of book you're gonna read, you know. But I rated this a 4-star rating, and like I said, I know I rated the last book in the series a high rating, which I would get to, and I rated this series a 5-star. If you want me to do like a video of all the series that I have read that's in my book collection, please let me know in the comments. I want to do that, but if y'all want me to do that, let me know, and I might just do like a Instagram poll on type of videos to do in the next couple of months, because these next couple of months I will have more time to record. Hopefully I get a job, but still have time to record, because it will keep me sane, because my boyfriend is leaving me for 4 months. So yeah, he's changing his MOS, but he has to go to school to change his MOS. So yeah, I'll be on a kick. But yeah, so the next book that I read in these last 3 months was Picking Daisies on Sunday by Liana Senegati. And I know she just published a new book, so I want to get that book whenever I see in the bookstores, because now she is like a published author from like through book like hire, like she has a publishing agency when I mean published author. And I read this book from the 15th of April to the 19th of April, and I read this book a 4 stars. I really loved it. I also love the other one, which is Don't Be in Love. So that was her first book that she wrote. This is her second book, and she wrote her third book, and I know she's currently writing her 4th book because I follow her on Instagram. But I really love this book. It is like a early 2000 rom-com. It has that cringy moments like early 2000 rom-coms, and I love that. Like, I really love that. And like with me, one of my favorite rom-coms is Legally Blonde. I love it. I like the first one and second one, and I got it on DVD. So I really love that. So I love that, and this is what the book looks like. And yeah, this is like this book, and the other book of this is the only book that I don't have with the rest of my books, just because I just feel like they look good. When you watch my room tour, you will know where I have it, but if you watch my desk tour, then you know where I have it. But yeah, so the next book that I read in these last 3 months is Crossed by Emily McIntyre. McIntyre, not Mac, but McIntyre. And I rated this a 5-star rating. I read this from May 20th to May 22nd, so 3 days. And I'm actually going to read the last book when I am out of town, because those are one of the books that I'm either going to read while we're on the road or when we're not really doing anything and stuff. And I might actually bring me like a tote bag with me if we ever do go somewhere and we're just sitting around while we're out, and I can just have a book with me. But yeah, I really love this book. I could not put this book down, and I think that's why I finished it within like 3 days. And I actually love all the books so far in this series, and she's like, if I have to have top 5 authors that I would recommend, Emily McIntyre and Anna Huang are in the top 3. Maybe I can do that once I like do my series. I might do like my top 5 authors in a video as well. But I really love this book. Like I said, it's rated a 5-star, and hopefully I will love this last book. And I want to get into more books of hers. And same thing with Stephanie Garber. I know she has another series that's before this series that I want to read, but I would say actually Stephanie Garber, Emily McIntyre, and Anna Huang are my top 3 so far. And I'm not saying those because those are popular books. There's some popular books that I probably rated 3 stars or lower, but those are like my top 3. And yeah, but I really love this book. So we're almost done. We got like 2 more. I'm about to show you one, and then we have another one after that, and we're gonna end this video. So yeah. So the next book that I read in these 3 months, and I am getting the rating and all that pulled up, is A Curse for True Love, not of, but A Curse for True Love by Stephanie Garber. This is the last book of this series, and I rated this book a 5-star rating. And like I said, she's like part of my top 3. I just told you that. She's part of my top 3. And yeah, so if you want to know what's top 4 and top 5, I would do that video in that channel. But I really love this book. And I read this book from the 22nd of May and finished it on the 24th of May. That's how much I really love this book. Like, I could not put it down when I picked it up. Like, once I read the first page, I could not put it down, like, at all. So I really love this book, and I'm so glad. I hate that I finished the series, right? But I'm glad I love this series. And I can't wait to read other books from her, because I know there's actually technically another series you're supposed to read before this series. That's what a lot of people say, if you want to get the whole like dynamic of how both series go together. But I do want to read the other series that is kind of similar to this series that you should have read before. But they say if you read this series first before the other series, it's okay, because you would still understand the concept. But I really really love this book, and maybe I will reread all 3 books one day, because if I really love something, I'm gonna reread it. So yeah. Now, our last book. My last book that I'm about to show you, the last book I read. Kind of disappointed me. Although I liked it, and I almost rated a 4-star, but then I also wanted to rate it a 3-star. Not 3-star, a 2-star, and it has a 3-star for a reason. But the book that I read, April through June, these last 3 months, the last book in this stack, is Our Infinity Fates by Lauren Stevens. I rated this book a 3 stars. And I started this book on the 22nd of April, and I finished this book on the 20th of May. I don't think it was because I was in a reading slump on why it took me so long to read this book. I think it's because I couldn't really get into this book. And that's the reason why it took me forever. I know some people DNF books if they don't like it, if they can get through the whole book, if they get bored of the book. Some people DNF books. And there's now on Book Talk, you shouldn't be ashamed if you DNF a book. But with me, I want to read it because I feel like everyone has their own point of view and has their own opinion, and you can get some still, like, you can still get some insight on what type of books you want to read. If like you didn't like that book but you want to read more books in that genre or from an author to see, is it the writing style or was it the book, you know? But I rated this a 3-star rating, and I think that you want to rate this book a 2-star rating just because I didn't like it. Like, it took me weeks, and like I said, it's from the 22nd of April to the 20th of May. It took me weeks to actually get into the book because I was still in like the first 20 to 25 pages, and I just got bored easily because I just couldn't get into the book. That's just my intake on why I didn't like the book. And I was generous with the rating on why I gave it a 3-star rating, but I wanted to give it a 2-star rating. And I have rated a book a 2-star. I don't know which book that I rated a 2-star, but I know I rated at least one book that I have ever read a 2-star. If I don't really like it and I'm being generous with that book, it would be rated a 3-star. But this book, I really should have rated it a 2-star. And I think I did rate it a 2-star at first, but then I was like, I kind of did like the ending, because I did kind of like the ending. And so I changed my rating before pressing submit on Goodreads, or I probably pressed submit it and then went back on Goodreads and changed my rating to a 3-star because I liked the ending. But it just really took me a while to get into this book. But let's just grab all the books and wrap up this video, and we will close on this video. So, okay, besties. So this is 13 books that I read in the last 3 months, and it is heavy, so I'm not gonna fully pick it up. But if you have read any of these books, besties, please let me know down in the comments. And if you have made it this far to the video, please comment a book, those stack books emoji. So yeah, but let me know, have you read any of these books? What are your opinions? I still like seeing other people's opinions based on books, movies, and all of that. And I might like it. Like I said, I might like something, but you might not. Or you might like something, and I might not. You know? So what was the book? Our Infinity Fates. You might like it, but I didn't. And that's okay. Everyone's opinions is different. And I feel like a lot of people should know that. But no, we are in a world that social media is big, and that social media controls our life. So yeah, but I really do hope that you liked today's video, besties. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you on the next video. Like I said, I don't know what I'm posting this video because it might be this Friday. Actually, I think this video will be posted this Friday, now that I think about it, because I want to get this out of the way first, and I feel like this type of video should be in the first week of July, then the second week, or the first couple of days of July. So yeah, but if you really like this video, besties, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know any video ideas that you want from me down in the comments please, it really helps my videos. And I'll see y'all in the next video, besties. I love y'all, and remember to always follow your dreams no matter what, and bye.